all the people to Zindagi Ka Safar. And when we are talking about Zindagi Ka Safar, specifically for me, there is a one instance which I very clearly remember. When I used to be teaching at TFI Management Institute, there used to be a course called Security Analysis and Portfolio Management. Yeah. And the course itself was a little difficult because it's finance and numbers. And then I have this student who suddenly comes up to me and says, "Sir, aap technical analysis पढ़ा नहीं रहे. There are only a couple of sessions which is there, 2-3 classes out of 30 classes which is there." So this is the first time. First shock is a student coming and saying, "Sir, आप थोड़ा ज़्यादा पढ़ा दीजिए." Yeah. And the second is figuring out कि यार ये तो course है, मतलब why is this guy asking? Yeah. So I remember this person very, very well, and he's joined us as a guest. So Mitesh Thakkar is joined us. And the best thing about him is not only he asked that point in time, he has gone about learning it himself and has made a name and career for himself. So whenever once in a while I'm scanning through the different news channels which is there, I many times see him, and then I just stop and all. Even my kids know the moment I see him, I just stop and all. I've been telling my kids, "ये मेरा student है, मेरा student है." So they now also they also say, "Sir, आपका तुम्हारा बेटा, पापा तुम्हारा student is there." I said, "Yeah, student से आगे है." So Mitesh, welcome, and let's hear about your जिंदगी का सफर. क्या क्या किया, कहाँ पे मतलब पढ़ाई हुई, और क्या क्या पढ़ाई किया to come to this particular stage, and what are you doing?
Thank you so much, sir. Always a student, I think, पहले प्रोफेसर से पढ़ा, मार्केट से पढ़ रहे हैं. आपने सही बताया कि टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में मुझे काफी टाइम से इंटरेस्ट था. हिंदी इज फाइन, राइट? हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स इज फाइन.
हिंदी इंग्लिश इज फाइन, यस.
परफेक्ट. तो आई वाज बोर्न बॉट अप इन इंदौर. मेरा बेसिक ग्रेजुएशन तक पढ़ाई इंदौर में रहा, एंड देन कैट क्लियर करके टैपमी वाज द कॉलेज व्हिच आई कुड जॉइन. Very fortunate, honestly. It was a very good experience. Doing an MBA from a very professional setup, coming from a city which, and Indore that time was a very small town, was a big jump in the career. Knowing so many people and having colleagues and professors who had industry experience was a very different way of thinking in life. So that was one of the biggest learning which happened. और उसके अलावा obviously I think when you join one of the best colleges in the country, the kind of content which you get, the input which you get via different courses, उसका एक अलग वैल्यू होता है लाइफ में, जो शायद सभी कोर्सेज का आपको रियलाइज ना हो, परंतु जिस फील्ड में आपको इंटरेस्ट होता है, वेयर यू वांट टू पिक अप मोर थिंग्स, आई थिंक वो रहा. इसलिए शायद मैंने आपको आके पूछा था कि टेक्निकल जब मैंने पढ़ा था इसके बारे में, और हम लोग उस टाइम पे आई रिमेम्बर वेरी क्लियरली दैट जब डेवलपमेंट्स ऑफ फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स की बात करते थे तो एनएससी नया नया आया था, और उसके तुरंत बाद एलआईसी स्कैम हुआ था, एंड वी वर टॉकिंग एंड वी वर हियरिंग, एंड seniors you will tell us, we'll get some bits and pieces of information about derivatives coming to India.
Yes.
So I realized one which was very important factor was that आप fundamental research से आप derivatives को कैसे trade कर सकते हो. It was to my mind, I think I could not link that thing, so I realized that there should be something which is missing. थोड़ा लाइब्रेरी में जाके थोड़ा आपसे पूछ के, थोड़ा और सीनियर्स से पूछ के, I realized that technical analysis करके एक फील्ड होता है जिसमें आप शॉर्ट टर्म व्यूज पे काम कर सकते हैं, एंड मे बी डेरिवेटिव्स ट्रेडिंग के लिए वो काफी फायदेमंद रहेगा. नाउ विद दैट एंथुसियाज्म ऑफ अ स्टूडेंट, आपको ये पता था कि शायद इंडिया में ये फील्ड अभी आएगा और काफी पिकअप होएगा, तो ऑब्वियसली आप जॉब के बारे में, करियर के बारे में सोचते हैं. तो दैट टाइम आई टुक अ कॉल कि आई थिंक दिस लुक्स टू बी गुड फील्ड. इट इज अ न्यू फील्ड, पीपल हैवंट ट्राइड, एंड आई कैन मेक सम स्पेस इन दिस फील्ड इफ आई डू इट वेल. So that is the way I got interested in technicals. Fortunately, it so happened that campus placement में जो company आई, they had a technical analysis department or division, wherein it was only a 1% division, but at least they had something about it. Okay. So when they offered me a job in the debt markets, I politely refused. It was one of the highest paying jobs on the campus, so refusing was another pain. You can imagine that. But then I told them, if you offer me a job in technicals, I'd happily take it, even at a mildly lower salary is fine with me. Fortunately, they also accepted, and I joined Darashaw and Company. The experience didn't go to my expectations, because आप जब MBA से pass out करते तो you look at a very different, or you have a very different image of corporate life. Darashaw is slightly family run kind of a business, so I could not fit in well. So then I had to go through a couple of job changes. I joined a company called First Global, which was headed then by Mr. Shankar Sharma. The name of the company, First Global, suggested that they were trying to be the first Indian global company. They had actually taken a membership on NASDAQ before a couple of things happened, and they could not take further steps, and that led to closure of the company. And in the meanwhile, I had made some reputation about doing good kind of research, giving good trading calls, making some very bold calls on the markets. I had a big hand to play in Shankar Sharma, who was the owner of First Global, going bearish on technology stocks. So I'd given some very big sell calls, and that's how Kotak Securities wanted me to join their team on the portfolio management side to help the fund managers time their entry and exit into stocks.
So this also was the year 2000. This is what you're talking about.
This was the year 2001, sir. This was 2001.
Okay. After the Y2K.
And Kotak was yes, just after that. So once the software market, bear market had started, and I had made some very big bearish calls. So there was some, reputation developing for me as a young guy coming up, giving some very bold calls. So Kotak picked me up, and I spent about 5.5, 6 years with Kotak. In the meanwhile, I also saw Kotak turn into a bank. And then I had an opportunity to join Edelweiss, which was offering me a very senior position as deputy head of private client business. So I took that up. Was there till 2008. Now, I have always wanted to start something on my own, and it was the 2008 meltdown which kind of prompted me to take that step. Not because things were tough. We were doing extremely well as a division. Of course, that few months were tough. But my call was basically after seeing a big fall in the markets, the call was, isse kharab kya hoga life? So if I start here, I would be starting somewhere near the bottom. Of course, I regretted immediately after I quit my job because next 6 months there was no business. But slowly things picked up. Manmohan Singh ji was re-elected, and market started shooting up again. Business came in. Things started to happen. With some of the good reputation which I had earned over the number of years, CNBC, which was then a leading financial news channel, used to invite me regularly on their platform to share my views on indices and stocks. And that's how I started working with them closely. After a few years, I spent a couple of years with ET Now, which was another channel, and I'm back to CNBC now. So you can watch me daily morning giving some gyan about short-term views on the markets. And in the meanwhile, I also did some ventures, which is basically going into training people how to trade the markets, because it's a very professional and a very different approach which you need to take. And I also manage my own fund.
Oh, that's wonderful. So we'll come more to about how you do the work and all. And I have a few questions which maybe my viewers also might be having. But coming to that teaching people, it's not only I think you have gone back to our alma mater and you have taught there a few years. Plus, you are also doing a specified, I think it's 3 months course or 6 months course which you run. Tell us a little bit about what you do there.
Sure. So yes, so I'll start with the TAPME part first. I think, sir, you know that technical analysis in our time frame was just a part of the security analysis course. Exactly. Today, it's become a full-fledged subject because a lot of people have started realizing that there's something which is different and which could, possibly be used to understand the markets in a different way. So now it's a subject. So I was offered this opportunity to be a guest lecturer at TAPME, and of course, going back to college is always a wonderful feeling. So I took it up. I have taught for about 5 years now. Last year I could not go because of the pandemic, and this year again I think the same situation prevails. So I had to skip that out. And as I said, I ventured into training in the meanwhile. So I train people, and earlier I started with a long 3-month kind of a course. Over time, I've changed the approach towards training. What I offered last before COVID kind of came into picture and things went haywire was a 7 or rather a 5-day course, a weekly course. When people will come, they will sit in my office, learn from me 4 or 5 setups which I use regularly to trade. And they will also, meanwhile, along with that, trade with me. So, I mean, I'm not only teaching them, but I'm also trying to see that they also actually practically put their money on what they are understanding and learning. While they are putting their money online, I'm putting my money online, which is obviously bigger than theirs, and my name online, because if I go wrong, I not only take a financial hit, but I also possibly lose some respect. Iska call bhi galat jata hai. So, those kind of things happen. But I thought it was a very unique way of approaching things. Yes. Nobody in the market is offering this, and it all comes from the fact that you have confidence enough to say that what I do is exactly what I'll preach, and therefore I'll put my money where my mouth is, and exactly what I'm teaching is what is where I put my money and bet my money on. I've done about 35 such batches before COVID kind of came into picture, and it was only one batch where I lost money. And that happens.
That happens, yeah. But I think it's a very, very good run, saying that 34 out of 35 instances that you have been able to make money, which is there.
Make some profit. Just in some cases, exceptional profit. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So in some cases, exceptional profit, sir, and in some cases, some profit. So the idea was basically you earn and you earn as you learn was the tagline which I used for this course. I'm happy to say that more than half my participants were able to recover the training fees which they paid me in that 1 week duration that they were there, So I think that was a big step, and taking that call was a bold move slightly, but I mean, you got to take some bold calls in your life. So this was one of them.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best way. I think any learning, whatever we have, and maybe that's why I think going back to MBA as a curriculum, and specifically with top B schools, TAPME included, I think one of the things they try to do is try to bring as much of practicality into it. So you learn a concept, you use it in a case study, or you try to work it out.
Exactly.
So it might be, as we always say, and specifically in case study kind of methodology, there's no one particular solution which is there. Those more specifically in your case, it will be, I think, very clear cut. Either you buy or sell or hold, whatever. So you come with very clear cut thing at the end of it. So I think that's good. One last point of curiosity is, so what is the minimum amount of money someone has to put in? Is it same for everyone, or is it just saying that I can put 10,000 and another participant, if he's willing to put maybe 50,000 during the course in some of the investment?
So I think, the trading corpus obviously depends and differs from person to person. My approach is not about the corpus, it is about the percentages. So if you're putting in a certain amount of money, let's say, I'm just taking for an example, say, let's say starting with 10 lakhs. The first thing which I'll tell them is to always look at the risk first and then worry about the rewards, because the rewards will come. As long as you're putting hard work managing the risk, the reward will come. It's like, similar to what भगवान कृष्ण सेट, कर्म कर लो, फल की चिंता मत करो. अगर तुमने कर्म ठीक से कर लिया तो फल तो आ ही जाने वाला है, थोड़ा आगे पीछे आएगा, वो हो सकता है. That can happen. So the idea is first to tell them that not losing money means that you will eventually end up making money. It's like swimming. If you don't drown, you will learn to swim eventually. अगर डूब गए और आउट हो गए तो फिर आपका विकेट गया, then you're lost forever. So that is the idea. So I always teach them about managing the risk first. I tell them that you should never bet more than 1% of capital on any single trade. So let's say you want to buy a stock which is 100 rupees, and you have 10 lakhs of capital, and you have a 4-point stop loss because of some technical moving average or some support level. You say कि मुझे 96 अगर तोड़ देगा तो I want to exit. So you can lose only 4 points on that. Now the overall condition says that out of 10 lakh, I can't lose more than 1%, which is 10,000. Yes. Which means that you can't buy more than 2,500 shares. So it should not happen that you go and suddenly buy 10,000 shares and then it goes 4 points down, and now you are thinking बेचूं कि नहीं बेचूं. And जब भी ऐसा situation आता है, and a lot of traders say this, the moment they start praying about their positions, they liquidate. The successful ones. And the unsuccessful ones keep on praying and unfortunately liquidate at the last moment when the market is just about to bottom. So it's a very common occurrence in our field. But yeah, I think looking at risk is the most important thing. The amount is not important. It's always percentages which I do.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough thing which is there. So I think now you must be aware that even in our college, they have created a Bloomberg lab, and the student over a period of time also practice some of the investment with some corpus
if I can add a line, sir, if I can interrupt you, I think that Bloomberg lab is one of the finest things which I've ever seen in a B school. I think 16 Bloomberg terminals for students to possibly extract any possible data, work on it. I think it's phenomenal. I think kudos to the college for doing this. Actually, I was really surprised when I first visited as a part of the alumni gang which was completing 15 years, and when I first saw Bloomberg lab, I was totally blown out. Yeah, fantastic.
Wonderful. Okay, I think that's I think a wonderful thing, and I think that's how the progress happens, because by my vague recollection, at the point when you were there, let's say 1998, when we were looking at this particular course, the Bhav copy anyway was never there, but whatever was coming in the newspaper, that will be 2 days late. Yeah, so a Monday trade will get printed on Wednesday. So doing a technical analysis is a tough one, and then the paper also will not come in the morning. So paper will come at around 11 o'clock or 11:30. It will get delivered at a place like Manipal. So the information flow has changed quite a lot, and definitely something like Bloomberg gives you, as you said, vast amount of information.
I'll add to it, sir. I speak to seniors in my industry, and they tell me, yeah, you guys are lucky you were born in the age of computers. हम लोग तो graph paper पे data plot करके chart बनाते थे.
Okay. Just as a curiosity, what are some of the most common charts which you use and which you like?
So I basically use a Japanese candlestick chart because interpretation-wise, it's all about understanding the chart. So interpretation-wise, a candlestick chart is much powerful. And to draw in support lines or to draw patterns, I use a closing chart, which is the closing price of all the days, and you join a line together with the dots on the graph, and you make patterns and draw lines on that. And that apart, I use some very fairly common indicators, moving averages, MACD, RSI, etc. Over the years, what I've done is being having some mathematical, inclination. I've changed those indicators, and I don't use the standard ones which are there in the books. So I've modified the formula a little bit here and there to my understanding. And sometimes you've had failures, then you backtest, then you again modify it, and some in that entire process, I've been able to come to what actually suits my personality as a trader. Because again, in trading, there are different personalities. People who trade for intraday for 10 minutes, people who do scalping, people who trade for 10 days. So I think, that modification is important. But yeah, this is the basic broad things I use: a candlestick chart, moving averages, MACD, and RSI.
Okay. So your personality on trading, since we have gone to this, is it a one-day kind of call which you normally take, or is it a based on a weekly per settlement wise? What is your thing?
So for me, it's about few days. I tried intraday trading. I will be honest, and I was not very successful. In fact, I did lose some money in that. I realized that I cannot manage, or I cannot live with, because I'm doing television and I'm doing also other things at the same point in time. The amount of focus obviously decreased. And when you're doing intraday trading, I think that's one very important factor. The second thing is that with every trading, and at least in the beginning part of your journey, comes in the fact that, with every profit you are happy, and with every loss you're sad. So that emotional ups and downs happen much faster in our life compared to somebody else's life. So I think I found that intraday was not my cup of tea. My success issue wasn't very happy. I was not making good money out of it. So you realize, and you cut that part of the trading now. It's like, it's like a cricketer. For example, Rahul Dravid would have tried to hit balls like Sehwag, but he realized he can't do that. So he cut that part and he stuck to what he could do better. And therefore reached his own height.
And that's wonderful. And I think many people who might listen to this might also be looking at you as some kind of role model in trying to get into a career. So some very things to let them know how easy or difficult it is. So normally when you are doing something like a stock market, and specifically your kind of role, it's become very difficult for you to even get time to have food. That's my experience 25 years back when I was part of the stock market, that you can't even have, if you are sitting at 8:30 and the market goes on till 3:30, 4 baje khatam hone ke baad hi maybe you can have your tiffin wahi baaju mein pada rehta hai, you are just looking into the thing. Is that still the case, or you are able to once in a while take those minimum break of having your food and otherwise?
No, I think that is mostly that's the case. Once in a while when the market is very dull, you can afford to have lunch at luxury. But one, I eat on my desk. I can't help it out.
You have to have one eye on the screen.
My positions and so screen ke samne hi rehna padta hai. But yeah, I think it goes on, as you rightly said, till 3:30, and then you have a relaxed time. So till 3:30, yes, trading as an activity requires full attention. On dull days, you are able to, marginally sneak out for 10-15 minutes, go to your colleagues, have a chat, and look at their terminal ki sab theek thaak chal raha hai. तो जब तक बात करते कुछ movement आया तो वापस desk पे जाके फिर देखना पड़ेगा positions ठीक है कि नहीं. So I think it's still that mostly, but yeah, you can manage it out over a period.
But still, from a broad level, your timing wise, how much do you get up early morning and try to figure out the first thing in the morning at whatever time you get up, let's say 5 o'clock, and see what is happening to the other markets which has opened up, and then you continue till late night 11 12 figuring out what is happening to the US market? Is that
so? I'll just share my
timetable,
workflow for the day. Timetable kind of thing. I sleep early, so you would at least sometimes you would find me asleep by 9:30 also, because I get very tired physically and mentally, and I wake up early. I think the entire schedule has changed. I wake up at about 5 o'clock or so. Take my own sweet time to brush my teeth, get up, and get set. But by around 6 o'clock, I'm thinking about the markets. I would check what was the international markets and how the SGX, because SGX is the Nifty instrument trading in the Singapore market, which would start earlier than us. Would start working on that. Form a day. Form a view for the day as to what exactly my feel for the day is. Write down my ideas for Nifty and Bank Nifty, which are the two main indices. Figure out which stocks are on the charts have shown some breakouts or are showing potential signals of breakout, which I need to track. Make a list of them. Make a list of recommendations, which I will share on television on that particular day. And by 8 o'clock, I'm nearly done with this. would have mailed the recommendation. I'll have my shower, a quick one, and rush to the office. Then my day starts. I paid, I give recommendations, and that keeps on going till 3:30. Post 3:45, I have no idea what happens in the world. I'm in my own world, so I would shut off from the market because that gives me a very fresh approach the next day. So I would not look at Dow, what's happening. Because I tell people, लोग रात को कभी कभी पहले फोन करते थे 10 बजे, अरे डाउट 400-500 पॉइंट डाउन है या ऊपर है, क्या करने का? मैंने कहा तू कुछ नहीं कर सकता, तू 9 बजे ही ट्रेड कर सकता है.
जो भी कर सकता है.
Worry about it 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, worry about this kind of things 7 o'clock in the morning. Once the Dow is settled also for the day, बीच में ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, you can't help much about it. So, and also is the fact that once you have slept over your positions and your thoughts, you start the next day with very fresh mind. So that allows you to, incorporate fresh ideas, also think at the same problem from different angles, which you would not do otherwise if you are carrying on the same thing in the evening. So I kind of disconnect after 3:45, 4. I've developed a hobby over the last few years of getting into photography. So you can often find me in my balcony with my camera trying to shoot birds on the trees around me. That's what I do, but I don't look at the market for sure. So after 3:30, 3:45, things are cut.
We'll want to figure out, but we are not very sure whether your wife is going to be listening to this podcast. I was very interested to ask you what kind of birds you shoot, but I think we'll keep it at a later section. Yeah, to figure out, is it a two-legged bird or what exactly you were talking about from the balcony?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, all of them. All sizes and hues, which is there. Okay, fair. Okay, one last curiosity thing, because it looks very cool when you guys are there on the television. So have you gone through some kind of formal tips and this, that okay, ऐसा कपड़ा पहनोगे तो you will look much better, or you look much calmer, or मतलब बातें कैसे करनी है and that kind of thing? Is there something, or you just picked it up?
Sir, one is obviously you start picking it up over a number of years. Things change, the way you speak change, the way you dress change. और शादी के बाद तो वैसे ही बीवी बोल देती यही पहनना है, आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो then you don't have much of a choice.
Yes, you don't have much choice. Correct.
But that apart, sir, if you recall, when I was in TAPME and in my earlier years, I used to speak very fast. I think I believe compared to others, I speak very fast. But with me coming on television and getting repeated feedback from friends, family, viewers, a lot of people write messages to me on mail or Facebook or other social media accounts. I have tried to slow down, and I think that's worked better. So obviously the style evolves with the period, and as far as dressing comes, because it's on a business channel, so it has to be a formal dressing. So it's always a tie and a shirt, sometimes a jacket as well, and especially if it's a budget day and all, you're properly decked up full as if you're going for a corporate meet.
And very rarely, once in a while, I think they tell you that aaj Diwali hai, so you can come wearing your fine stuff. Huh?
No, then they insist I should be wearing a kurta.
Okay.
Yeah. So because Diwali, see, for stock market people, Diwali is a very sacred festival.
Because नया ये चालू हो रहा है.
Books, हाँ, नया साल होता है, नया books होता है, so they obviously that is the day I'm wearing traditional.
Do they give you some of this thing, or have you been approached by some stylist or some brand saying that okay हम आपको कपड़े देंगे and this will get branded and all? ऐसा हुआ है क्या?
नहीं sir, I think the channels don't prefer it because they don't prefer it because obviously they don't want somebody else to get a free advertising on their channel.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay. Okay, one last thing before we move to the last round, which is there. Now, many times it appears that suddenly the person who is there on the other side is just asked you a particular stock out of the blue, saying that मतलब कुछ तो भी अजीब ही मतलब maybe it's not a very known stock. It's not like saying ICICI Bank. एक छोटा मोटा कहीं का बैंक वगैरह. What happens to Bandhan Bank again is a big name, but I'm saying let's suddenly out of the blue said Bandhan Bank and all. तो मतलब how do you मतलब quickly pull out the charts and then मतलब figure out कि उसका call क्या है and all? How does that thing happen?
So I think what happens, sir, is that I'm anyways tracking the entire derivatives pack because you're trading them as well. So उस पे तो रोज एक बार नहीं, इनफैक्ट 3 से 4 बार दिन में चार्ट स्कैन होता ही है. So I'm covering the entire pack and I'm scanning the entire chart 3 to 4 times a day. And I would have noted down my observations. So in most of the cases, I would remember what I've seen.
Roughly how much?
About 150 stocks. About 150 stocks approximately. So उतना तो tracking होता ही है रोज का. But in any case, if they ask a stock which you don't have a clear view, or even if they ask a stock which you know but you don't have a clear view, you can always politely tell them I don't have a clear understanding of the chart, so it will not be fair for me to comment.
Chal, I think that give everyone a very good idea about what all goes into your exciting world of trading, as we have been talking about. Okay, so matlab, just to give you a feel, matlab, and so that you remember कि professor कौन था, there will be a quiz now, yeah, and it is an unannounced quiz which is going to be happening, which is the last segment. तो 5 question आ रहे हैं, yeah, as usual, like tap me days.
25 साल बाद हो रहा है मेरे साथ.
25 साल बाद हो रहा है, yeah. So we need to figure out, yeah. So we'll ask you all the difficult questions, like tell me about formula of IRR and NPV and how is it different. No, we are not going to ask.
I have no idea. I've lost clue, sir. No, seriously. Yeah. I mean, today my son, he's just joined Nathi Monji, doing his finance course first year, and I can't pass a journal entry because I've long stopped doing that. So मेरे को ये भी याद नहीं वो accounting के rule क्या है. I'm sorry for that, but I'm very poor at that now.
No, I remember.
If you remember, I was one of the toppers in accounts, right?
Yes.
But today, if you ask me about journal entry and ledger entries, मेरे को कुछ नहीं पता है मुझे. So sorry for that, disappointing. But yeah, life is changed.
मेरे तो उससे भी बुरे हाल है. मतलब I was like now struggling when my daughter was coming and asking me some problems which was class 5th or 6th के जो problems पूछती थी. I was struggling. मैंने बोला यार इंजीनियर बन गए, मतलब MBA कर लिया, PhD कर लिया, और फिर भी मतलब इतना जान पे आता ना, मतलब it's like you have forgotten everything.
पूछेंगे उससे पहले मैं बता देता हूँ. I'll give it up. आप पूछेंगे उससे पहले कि मैं आंसर नहीं कर पाऊंगा. IR का फॉर्मूला मुझे पता. I was talking about the fact that I use a lot of indicators. Some of them I've studied the formula, modified them slightly to my use. But in many cases, I wouldn't know the exact formula. And in my field of line, at times it's okay not to know the formula because you should know the usage of the reading which you're getting out of the indicator.
Exactly.
And only if you want to modify it, only if you want to change it, then you want to go into the formula. Yeah. So in fact, मेरे फील्ड में मुझे काफी चीजें ऐसी नहीं पता या मैं देखता नहीं हूँ because जरूरत नहीं पड़ती modify करने की. So I have not worked on them. So if you ask me actually about IRRs and things like that, I would have lost that years back.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, okay. So let's start with the first one. So I think one very common thing which might be happening when you go for any social meeting is the first thing people after hi, hello, I think must be asking you for some stock recommendation. So how do you deal with that? So I think sometimes it puts you in a very awkward position, you know, because you don't want to share something purely for the fact that मैं आज तो बोल दूंगा कल कुछ स्टॉक में ऊपर नीचे हो गया और मैं नहीं रहा या मैं टीवी पर आया मैं बिजी रहा तो you know, so I think I've taken a safe route out over the number of years. I tell them politely, see, this is the case. कई बार होगा कि मैं recommend करके मैं भूल जाऊंगा कि मैंने आपको recommend किया या फिर मैं कहीं busy हो जाऊंगा. I think for you, if you're not in front of the screen, mutual fund सही है वाला formula सही है. वो line को आप याद रखिए and invest through people who are professionals in this business. So I've, in that sense, given away the business to mutual funds. Yeah, fair enough. But I think everyone asks, मतलब अगर पता चला भी दूर से भी बंदा थोड़ा आसपास स्टॉक मार्केट के है तो यार अरे कोई कुछ तो रिकमेंडेशन दे दो वगैरह एंड दे विल आस्क यू दे परसिस्ट विद यू मतलब उसको बोल भी दो यार मेरे को पता ही नहीं है स्टॉक क्या है वगैरह बट यार तुम तो मतलब पीएचडी हो तुमको पता होना चाहिए यार कुछ तो बता दो मतलब कैसे बता दूं यार मतलब व्हाटएवर वे आई पीपल फील ऑफेंडेड व्हेन आई टेल देम so people take offense when I don't give them a stock recommendation, but I tell them politely, see, I can give you one. There's no doubt about it. And I keep giving on television. But the fact of the matter is that there's a part which has to deal with after giving the recommendation, which I may not be available for. So please understand this. समझते तो ठीक है नहीं समझते तो I can't help much beyond the points. Okay, fair enough. Okay, coming to the next question. So, if for a relaxing, maybe you look into once in a while watch movie. So do you prefer to go on a theater or घर में बैठ के watch it on a laptop or big screen or TV, whatever? Always a theater. I mean, preference wise, always a theater. Obviously, in lockdown and all, you've used you to can't do watching. You got to watch it on mobile, etc. But I would always prefer it. तो देखा क्या राधे the whatever the most wanted brother bhai or whatever. No. So I haven't seen Radhe. I think I read the reviews before that, and I think the reviews were not very encouraging, so I decided to skip it out. But I think the last one which I saw was a web series called Kathmandu Connection, some thriller on the Sony platform. Okay. And what is the last movie which you might have seen on a big theater which you liked?
Long time back, sir. Now I think.
I know. 1.5 साल तो ऐसे हो गए.
I think I saw Total Dhamal. That was Madhuri and Ajay Devgan and Anil Kapoor. I think, yeah, that was one. Okay. It was kind of a family, light comedy type. So we all went for it. I think so. I can't recall, but I think that was the last one.
That was the last one. Okay. Yeah. No, वो तो अभी भी बीच में I think 2 Dhamal series which is there. So वो बीच में आता है तो wherever it starts, I end up watching it. That मतलब 5-10 minutes and you just laugh crazy. And my wife said दोबारा देख रहे हो? मैं बोला यार मैं जहाँ पे आके बैठा वहां से वो चालू हुआ तो I was like seeing that. वो दिमाग तो लगता नहीं उसमें कुछ स्टोरी पता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Yeah. So
totally similar case with me as well.
Very similar case. Okay, great. Okay, coming to as you had mentioned, you have photography as an interest. So you love to take photograph of wildlife if possible, or will it be family portraits and otherwise?
So wildlife is obviously the first love. But then for taking authentic wildlife photographs, you need to be in the jungle. Yeah. Which, given my work schedule as well as the COVID situation now, I think it's nearly impossible. But yeah, that remains the first love. So I actually try and make sure anytime there's a long weekend coming up, so at least make one trip to the jungle in every 3 to 4 months. So nearly about 4 trips a year is what I can manage. And my elder son has also taken interest to it, and therefore we travel together, and it's good fun. But जब नहीं होता है, so obviously you can use your skills to click other people. So I've done some friendly shoots. I've shot newborn kids of friends and their relatives, etc., and family pictures, of course. It's a lot of fun, and I really have started enjoying.
Yeah, because you once in a while upload those into the Facebook, and you really put a huge amount of efforts into doing it, the composing and even other. Yeah.
I'll just add a link. A couple of my pictures were also featured on the Canon India official Instagram account.
Wow.
So I had.
And those were all wildlife. Those were all wildlife?
They were wildlife, yes. Okay. They were wildlife pictures. One of them was a winking owl. So the owl was in the frame with one eye closed. Okay. And a lot of people told me you were lucky to get a shot like that with a winking owl, one eye closed. And I told them, मैंने कुछ 250 शॉट लिया हुआ उस दिन owl का और एक भी शॉट में उसने आंख नहीं खोला. So I don't know if he was lucky or not, but he was just sitting like that. So yeah, but that's come out as a fantastic picture. And I've been close to tigers.
So from the tigers thing is what I wanted to ask. So which are the ones which you normally travel? Because you said you travel 3-4 times is possible. कहाँ कहाँ जाते हो?
So नागपुर सबसे ज़्यादा common है, पास में है. ताडोबा, Tadoba, Page, Tipeshwar, Umred, I think all these jungles are near Nagpur. So you can go to Nagpur, and then there in all the directions you will find one jungle in the range of 100 to about 150 kilometers. I've been to Gir, I've been to Jawai to shoot leopards and all, and I've traveled to some bird sanctuaries. On the list is Ranthambore and Kabini.
You have not gone there? I was about to ask that.
Yeah, Ranthambore and Kabini is on the wish list. So I hope when travel is possible, I can do
that. Okay, because I have gone to Tadoba a couple of times, and that's where I got the sighting. I didn't get in a couple of other places, so that was very disappointing because abhi to pata nahi, because I'm not so much into photography, but I think it's wonderful to watch specifically the tiger moving around, which is
I've been lucky enough, sir. I've had instances when I've been less than 6 feet close to the wildcats. So I've really had some very close sightings. And it's majestical to watch them walk. I think they walk very gracefully. And a lot of new adventure.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe kabhi tum matlab once everything settles down, since you have not taken a vacation, go to South Africa and I think get as much photograph and stock possible in those 10 days of wildlife thing.
Nairobi. So Masai Mara is high on the list. Yeah. Masai Mara is very high on the list. My son also wants to travel there. But then we need to both get the vacation at the same point in time, which is a difficult concept these days. Plus, I just mentioned something else. Sir. So when I used to go to Manipal, and Manipal has a very rampant birding culture. Manipal is a hub of birds, So in fact, there's a book called Birds of Manipal by Ramit. I forgot the full name, but there's a gentleman called Ramit Singhal, I think. But yes. I'm not sure. And a couple of professors in TAPME right now also into birding. So they are kind enough, whenever I go and visit them, I carry my lens and camera, and they're kind enough to take me early in the morning, pick me up from the hostel and take me to the drive. We'll shoot birds early in the morning. They'll come back and take my lectures.
So which area do you guys go towards the endpoint side or
endpoint also, and there's a couple of birding signs which I don't know the name, but वो endpoint के रास्ते से there are some diversions, you know, that नीचे का side जहाँ पे river की तरफ जाते थे, हाँ वो वहाँ पर I forgot the name of that place.
Okay, agar if you are going for a marriage, so will you be someone who will just wear a t-shirt and jeans and go, or will you get wearing a traditional kurta pajama and go? Again, is it based on what your wife says?
I mean, obviously, you can't fight much with her. So if she's adamant, then you got to go with what she says. But otherwise, my preference would be a jeans and a shirt.
You will look, I think, equally good in both the things. And that brings me to the last question, which is there, since you are into the dream city, which is there. So agar aapko, if you are given a role to play in a movie, will you want to play the role of a hero or it will be the villain?
Neither, sir.
Neither.
Sidekick or a sidekick or a character kind of a role, you know. I enjoy watching those. I mean, like, you know, for example, for all good reasons, Paresh Rawal in Hera Fairy was the main hero, despite the fact that Akshay Kumar and Sunil Shetty were there. So yeah, I think those kind of things. I love watching them. I enjoy them, and I try to play my sarcasm on my kids in similar manner as they get irritated. But yeah, that's the kind of character which I want.
But if I remember correctly, in your Manipal days, you used to be quite active even in the culturals, I think.
Yes. Yeah, very active in sports. I think I was the secretary of the sports for the first year.
Yeah.
And culturals also, yes. But I mean, obviously, with time and, you know, things change. So I think now what interests me a lot is you know, being that one vital piece, not being the main piece, even though, but that vital piece, you know, which kind of completes the picture. So I think I like those kind of things.
Fair enough, Mitesh. I think it was wonderful getting to know about your journey, and thanks for giving or sharing about your daily nitty-gritties of the work, and also some input for the people who might want to take it up as a career, which is there, and also being very candid about sharing your experience and your preferences about your different interests, which is there. So wish you all the best. I think we should do this more often, and maybe we should catch up in sometimes face to face. Next time I can come to Bombay, we'll do that.
That'll be fantastic, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here. And it was a wonderful experience connecting with you.
Okay, bye then.